helps to unmute my microphone. Good morning, everyone. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald is my very special guest this morning. Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching DrydenWire Live. In case you missed it, yesterday I was joined by business owner and 10th Senate District candidate Sheri Link. You can watch the recording of that on our website, DrydenWire.com. Wisconsin's 25th District Senator Janet Bewley will be my guest tomorrow. On Thursday, I'll be chatting with small business owner, alderman, firefighter, and first responder Kirk Anderson, who's also running in the St. Croix Falls mayor race, I believe. And on Friday, we'll wrap it up with Wausau School Board President, Ho-Chunk Supreme Court Associate Justice, and Democratic candidate in the 7th CD race, Tricia Zunker. We'll pop in for a chat. Alrighty, so today is a Positive Tuesday show. Let's see if we can get Chris on here. There he is. Chris!
Hey, morning.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
It's only Tuesday.
Hey, we're into Tuesday.
So we're doing a Positive Tuesday show. I talked to you this last weekend and asked if you wanted to come on again. First of all, we should just start calling this, like, I don't know, the Ben and Fitzy show or something. If we're going to do this often.
I'm all in. This is a great way to reach the people and answer their questions and just get a message out there when we need to. And you got a lot of followers, and I enjoy being on your show, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. So yeah, Positive Tuesdays.
My check is $4.
Nice. See, you're already positive.
Yes, right.
I love it. So Positive Tuesday show today. So when I asked you this last weekend, if you want to come on, you said, yes, I want to talk about positive stuff. Yep. So if it's all right, I decided to kind of run with that a little bit. So I've put in, it's I think right above our video right now, I think in the description, that people can put in something positive in the comments. But here's a little twist, and I should have put this in. So if you're watching this, holy cow, it's like hailing out right now. If you're watching this, put something positive in the comments, and we can share it and we can talk about it. Or if you don't have anything positive to say, put something else in, and Chris is going to put a positive spin on it. Positive spin on it. So put anything you want in the comments, and if it's positive, thank you, and if it isn't, don't worry. Chris is going to put a positive spin on it. You know, this reminds me of a couple of years ago. It was in your county. It was Romaine Quinn and Allie Holzman were running for the 75th, right?
Right.
And the Barron County Democratic Party did a great job. They had this Quinn spin, and they even had this graphic with, Romaine's heads going in a circle, and I'm like, it was so good. Which, by the way, he should start a podcast and just call it Quinn Spin. But that's kind of what we're doing here. Is you're just going to put a positive spin on something. So here's a test. Here's a first one here. Well, I do stories on crime and court stuff, right?
Right.
Sixth offense OWI, or I don't know, someone got caught by a cop that was trying to solicit like a 14-year-old kid or something, and it was really just a cop the whole time. And people are like,
really easy.
Yeah. So it was. This is really bad news, and why do you have to post? Put a positive spin on that.
Law enforcement's doing their job.
There you go.
The bad guys in jail. Our kids are safer. Geez, just put me right on the spot right away. Good follow. But I got an answer to every one of your questions.
All right.
But no, why do we tell people about it? One, to educate people about the effects of drinking and driving. Maybe there's someone out there that can help this person. Why do we release their name? Well, it's public record. We have to release people's names when they get arrested. But maybe I can reach out to that person and say, hey, you know what? You got some tough times. I'm here for you. And, so there's a lot of positive. And if the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks now, I've seen so much positive in this catastrophe, this time of unknown certainty, all this, whatever you want to call it. There's just so much good in this that's what we need to concentrate on, and we need to just work together. And I've seen so much people working together in Barron County, across Northwest Wisconsin, on this topic or on any topic, from the tornado to the Kloss case. And I know we keep going back to those two things, but there were some awesome things that happened during that, and that's what makes my job so much so easy, and I have a great community behind me to make things happen. We're behind public health right now and making sure public health has everything they need. Our doctors, our nurses, our store clerks, our election clerks today, which I don't know that I have a positive spin for what happened yesterday on the
Yeah,
election.
I do want to get to that, actually.
Yeah, well, we can get to that, but I'm not sure I have a positive spin. But everybody gets to vote, so I guess that's a great. That'll be our positive point. But there's been a lot of good things, and I'm happy to come on the show and talk about things that are positive, and hopefully some people out there will reach somebody and we'll put a smile on their face, and that's what it's about. Is just putting one smile on one person's face one time a day, and man, you made a difference.
All right, so if anyone is just joining us right now, this is a Positive Tuesday show. So if you're watching this live, put something positive in the comments, or if you don't have anything positive to say, put something else in, and Chris is going to put a positive spin on it. So, elections yesterday, that was a debacle.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to vote or not vote, mail my vote in, go in person.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I put up the Evers' press release about suspending it all, my brother called like 2 minutes later because he's running for mayor in Shell Lake, and he's like, "What now?" And I'm like, "Just hold on. This isn't over yet. The day's not over. Trust me. There's no way this is going to stay." But what a crazy, crazy afternoon with politics right now in Wisconsin. So put a positive spin on that one.
Yeah, and that one's going to be tough. I just don't like. We all get to vote. That's the purpose of it today. We get to make our voice heard. That's the positive spin. I just don't like the way they did it. I think they could have worked together on this a lot closer. It's a time where we need to be together. That's why I love working in Northwest Wisconsin and in Barron County, because we're all together in this, whether it's our highway department, with our public health, with our law enforcement, with our whoever, our media. But this playing games with each other at the last minute is not helpful to the citizens of Wisconsin, and it has to stop. But that's what elections are for, so that we can stop some of these games. And a lot of local races get hurt by some of these political races of governor and president, and a lot of these local races get overshadowed by that, and I don't like that. As a local elected official, I run with the governor. So if the governor's election is really contentious, then people aren't paying attention to their local sheriff's race or legislature race. But local mayors and county boards get overshadowed by this, and I think this is the time where we can make a very big impact locally, whether it's a mayor race like your brother's running, or it's a county board race, and we have some races here in Barron County for county board. Those are important positions that really make a difference locally. Well, the president's an important person and the governor's an important person. Locally, we make a lot more impact on those positions, and sometimes they get overshadowed, and I don't like that game that they play.
Speaking of the governor, we had him on last Friday. Former Governor Scott Walker was on, and we had chatted a little bit before and then a little bit after offline, and he had, because I'd brought up during the show that you were on earlier in the week, and afterwards, I think it was afterwards, he had said that he had a chance to meet you. I don't know when it was, year 2, 3, I don't know when it was. It's something about some pancakes, something. It was raining, or I don't know, but he spoke very highly of you. Yeah.
Governor Walker, former Governor Walker, and I had a great relationship. He made a difference in Northwest Wisconsin. He worked with us on the meth issue that we had here. It's the first time we've had a governor work directly with a local sheriff on a local issue, and he made sure that we had what we needed to fight the meth issue. But yeah, we were serving pancakes. It was lightning and thundering out, and we're holding the pole up because it's windy, and his people are like, "You can't hold that, Governor." And he's like, "I'm not letting go unless the sheriff lets go." And I'm like, "Well, I can't let go. These are my people." No, we had a good time, and we got through the windstorm, and we went back to flipping pancakes, so we're. He's a great guy. It was a great interview, and glad he came on. He's trying to make a difference now, doing some other things, and that's he's a great guy.
It's funny. He reminded me a lot of you, actually. And again, this is not a political thing. This is not Republican. I don't care about that. He was engaged. He had a lot of great things to say. It was just interesting because here's a little secret: not all of our guests are all that great. Don't tell anyone. But sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, I look down like 10 minutes and it's, I just want to grab a field rake and jam it into my retina because I just don't want to even watch my own show right now. But usually those are good guests. I mean, usually we have good guests, but he was great. He really was.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I learned a lot from him watching him. I know he's on this side of the fence, and there was other people on the other side, and some people didn't like that, but he respected everyone, and he respected their opinion, and he would greet them no matter what side of the fence they were on, and I think that's important, and that's what we need, and it's some of this Democrat and Republican game has to stop, and in times like this, our local people is who we count on, and that's all we can count on, and that's what we're doing in Barron County and in Washburn County. Is we're depending on our public health and our nurses and our doctors and our law enforcement and our everybody, and that's what's special about it.
Yeah,
and that's why I enjoy local politics over state and national politics.
Yeah, I mean, who knew politics were political?
Who knew?
It's so bizarre. I mean, what?
Right.
So I'm going to be putting up the booking reports, the weekly booking reports from all 6 counties later, but I did look at yours this morning. And once again, I think you had around 7, I think it was the same as last week, about 7 people this last week, which is drastically lower. So what's the positive spin on that?
Everybody's staying home. I mean, and we're truly flattening the curve. Well, I know we've been talking about this flattening the curve, but we are truly flattening the curve, and locally in Northwest Wisconsin, maybe not in Milwaukee. I don't keep track of that. I keep track of the people of Barron County and what they're doing, but we're working with our surrounding counties, and we're truly flattening the curve, and everybody's staying home. Everybody's doing good, being good, working and supporting each other, but less crimes, less people being arrested means more people are staying home. We're not finding traffic out there. The traffic we're seeing are people driving around getting their essential needs or just driving around. Some people are just driving around. There's been a lot of good things out there of people having birthday parties and having parades and honking and driving by these 6 and 10, 5-year-olds' houses, and they're out holding the balloon, and everybody drives by and honks, and people just join in. They don't know who this person is, but that's what's really cool about this and special about this.
We just had someone comment. This was from Angela. It said families are doing more family activities. So on that, I mean, you don't have to put a positive spin on that. That was great. Thank you, Angela. What have you personally done? Your family activities, like Angela's. Is your family doing more family activities?
We're eating supper more together. I mean, a lot of times in my business, I'm always not home right at 5 o'clock. Having no meetings and no events at night has afforded me the time to be at home and to eat supper with my family. Now, my kids sometimes eat because he's playing Xbox till 2 in the morning and then getting up, But but they don't eat on the same schedule, but it's the idea that we're cooking supper, being there, doing some more projects together. Their school starts tomorrow. Rice Lake School is going to an online version, or virtual learning, and they start tomorrow. So we'll be back on more of a regular schedule. So that's good. Having regular schedules, making sure you get up, get dressed, you shower. You put on different clothes.
Shower. That's what I forgot to do this week.
Yeah, that's right. It's only Tuesday.
Friday's bath day at my house. I got a few more days left.
Exactly. But no, Angela's exactly right. We are doing a lot more things with families together, enjoying this time. It's not going to last forever, so we've got to enjoy it because we are going to get back to normal. It may take a little bit longer than we think or what we wish for, but we will be back to normal and we'll be doing great.
All right, so here's another question. This is from Bramble. Have you seen more domestic abuse in the local area with the safer at home order?
No, actually we haven't, and we've worked directly with our ladies in Embrace, who we both support. Ben, you and I both support their organization.
I love Embrace.
Yeah, I love Embrace. They're the rock stars of this. They're busy, but not an increase in business. I guess I should say that.
Sure.
We're not seeing it for the most part. We're seeing some verbal arguments, but we're not seeing. If you want to look at the true definition of a domestic, well, a verbal domestic is still a domestic, and we're still dealing with that. We're still filling out Embrace forms. We're still reaching out to people, making sure that they, even after a verbal domestic, they have services if they need them. Most people don't. Some of it's just frustration. But no, we are doing very well in Northwest Wisconsin as far as domestics. We're seeing some OWIs. And I don't know if people are drinking at home and then driving around.
Well, I mean, what else? I mean, I've seen some stories. I don't have data to back it up, but my understanding is alcohol sales have gone pretty high in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it used to be toilet paper. Now I think it's just, alcohol. And that's, a bad, you could tell me, it sounds like that's a bad recipe. Cabin fever, being at home, and a lot of alcohol. Now, even if it's not domestic, which, hopefully that never happens.
Right.
But in a week or two, I mean, at some point, this cabin fever and the alcohol and not going out is going to be, so put a positive spin on that one.
Well, but you can go out. You can go outside. It's warm enough out. I mean, it's raining this morning, but it's supposed to be nicer this afternoon. People are going for walks. A lot more people are going for walks. A lot more people are meeting their neighbors. A lot more people are having conversations with their neighbors. Before, I just walked around the block because I just wanted to get the walk in. Now I want to walk around the block and hopefully see somebody out because I can talk to somebody or be with somebody or say hi to them from the end of their driveway to their house. So we're meeting our neighbors. We're doing a lot more things as a neighborhood and waving to people and being nice and understanding that the weird thing about this is we're all in the same boat. No matter if we're a billionaire or, at the bottom level, everybody's in the same boat for the first time. We're all equal in this world right now because everybody's under the same conditions. It doesn't matter. Now, I may have a bigger house and you live in an apartment and that's not equal. But from the most part, from a mental standpoint, we're all in this lockdown together. If you want to call it a lockdown, whatever you want to call it, to stay at home, safer at home. And it's really, we're not locked down. So that's probably a bad word because you can go out, you can go to the parks, you can go for walks, you can shoot baskets in your driveway with your family. You can, these chalk markings that kids are writing around our hospitals for our nurses and our grocery stores and everything like that are just saying, hey, smile today. I mean, it's really fun. It's really cool. But we're not seeing the increase in domestics, and I'm very happy with that. And I think people are all in the same boat. They understand some frustration, but they're also realizing their kids are right next to them and they're safe, and that's really what it's about. It's not about this frustration of being at home. I know there's some financial considerations here that people are starting to feel some of it, but hopefully the stimulus package will arrive and it'll relieve some of that stress or that tension. And we'll be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel here very shortly.
If you've just joined us and if you're watching this live, please put in something positive in the comments, or if you don't have anything positive to say, there are some people like that, put something else in, and Chris is going to put a positive spin on it. Here is something nice. Nikki Griffith. Where is it? Social media has made it easier to keep in contact with family. Couldn't imagine how much harder this would be without FaceTime.
Right, and there's a negative spin on that, and I will add a negative spin is sometimes we need to decompress from social media. That's one of our tips that our public health wants us to stress is that we want to get away from social media at some point in the day. We can't just live by social media and everything that happens on social media is the truth. But they're exactly right. Social media has made us connect with everybody's Zoom meetings. I mean, we can connect over. We're having our Rotary meetings on Zoom, and there's 30 of us on this Zoom meeting, and it's going really well, and we're still making connections with people and getting some information out there. And Rotary's still trying to do good in the community, and that's what's really cool about this. But I can't imagine without social media and Facebook Live and having this. How do we get our information out? And the good thing about Facebook.
I think we talked about that last week, that there's actually, I see more positive on Facebook now than a month ago before all this.
Yeah, and some pretty funny memes, too.
Yeah, they're just great. Some are wildly inappropriate, which makes them so much funnier. But yes, exactly. Brian Cole, remember Brian? Yeah, praying for all of you in law enforcement. Blessings to you and thank you.
Yeah, and it's people like Brian and all of our pastors that are doing that, and church service. I don't have a real positive spin for Easter, except that we'll all be together as a family.
Well, that's true.
And there's a lot of churches are doing, churches online. More people are attending and watching the message because, they want some positive spin, and they're getting some music and they're having some things. So, we're not recommending drive-up church services. I know some people would love to say, hey, let's just drive up to the back part of the sheriff's department and have church and we'll all stay in our cars. But the reality of that is we're not going to all stay in our cars because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Ben. I haven't seen Ben forever.
Sure.
I want to go talk to him. And we're going to get out of our cars and do that. And we just can't do that because of this some of this isolation we have, but churches are going online, everybody's going online, and it's working out okay. And again, Easter will have to be celebrated in June, and we'll have a big picnic outside and have Easter dinner and all our family together, hopefully in June.
Miller has said, should be a lot easier to catch the meth and heroin users and dealers during these times.
Yeah, well, we've had some meth arrests, and we are working on our drug unit. It's still working, but yes, there's a lot less cars out there and a lot less places to hide because there's not a lot of businesses open where some of these deals did take place, and so hopefully it's a little easier, but hopefully they're all staying home too. And with the border, somewhat being closed and all of our meth coming from Minnesota, maybe this will dry up our meth problem.
Yeah, I'm sure the cartels are going, oh, wait, we can't cross the border? Oh, okay. We'll just stay here.
Yeah, right. Safer at home.
even they are like, yeah, I'm not going out. Angela asks, is there anything we in the general public can do to volunteer for our communities during this time?
Well, what we do is, I don't know of any specifics. There's always some people making masks. There's neighbors helping neighbors groups on Facebook that have some ideas. But checking on your neighbors, saying hi to your neighbors, just yelling across the street when they're outside and
get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Yeah, give them a thumbs up. I mean, it's really just being positive in our community, making sure our kids are okay, making sure our neighbors are okay. Only going out for our essentials. That's really what's making the difference, is people staying at home. Mm-hmm. Speaking of memes, we can't screw this one up. All we have to do is sit on our couch and this will go away. I mean, there's no easier way to, exactly. And hopefully we don't screw that up. That was one of the funny memes that I thought, and that's really all we need to do. If you're not alone in this, and we need to make sure that everybody realizes they're not alone. It's call that person I should call that person. I should email that person. I should Facebook Messenger that person, just say, hey, just checking in, hope you're healthy. I mean, if we do that to some people, you get an email and you're like, man, I haven't thought of that person for a long time. And they send you an email saying, hey, hope you're doing good, staying at home. That's what we can do as neighbors. And if we take a half hour and email 10 people, we've just made 10 people brighter, and they take it to 10, and pretty soon, we've made 100 people smile today, and that's what it's about.
All right. Bramwell has another question. As a law enforcement officer, you encounter a lot of stress on a daily basis. What do you do to stay mentally healthy? Any recommendations for those at home who might be struggling during this time?
Well, and I don't have those numbers right on top of me, but there is some numbers for you for the help. You can go to our Barron County Public Health site, and there's some numbers for people to reach out to people, and they'll talk to you about some of the issues, the anxiety you have, some of the stress that you have. Personally, I go home and I see my kids have a smile on their face. My wife is healthy. That's all it takes for me. When I see people out there doing good in the world, I look at our friends over at Cousins and Hagen, and they got this food drop-off point where people drop off food and people can come and take food. It's the little things like that make my job a lot easier and put a smile on my face. And so I'll take care of the bad guys, and you guys are making our community great. I see our nurses and doctors going to work every day and getting through this with us. I know my job is stressful, and I know I'm more worried about my people and my deputies out there, making sure that they're safe. That's what keeps me awake at night, is making sure our kids are safe and our kids aren't out there. I know they're bored, but we've got to keep them inside just a little tighter, just for a little bit longer. I go for walks, and you talk to people about your issues, but you remember you're not alone. It's okay to ask questions and talk about this topic, whether you're scared, you're anxious, you're sad. It's okay to have that, but there's so much good that we just have to look around and see all these people that have painted their windows and put hearts and put bears in their windows so that kids can go on scavenger hunts to look for bears in people's windows of their houses. I mean, it's great.
This is like perfect time for me because I've already practiced social distancing. I don't like being around people.
Yeah.
I like one person, fine. Before we started doing these remote chats, with you would come here. I can deal with that, or my family. That's fine, but anyone else, nope. So this is like I'm just in heaven right now. This is great.
Yeah, I don't have to see anyone. Never coming to sit by you again, and this is great.
No, I know, it's fantastic. Brooklyn has said, "Thanks for all you do, Chris. Quite the unique experiences you've had as sheriff so far. Thanks for being here for us. You have had. I mean, this has been quite the last couple of years."
Yeah, there's no question I could probably write a book, but I just have so much support around me. Starts with your family, obviously your deputies, your dispatchers, our jailers. We don't want to forget about those people. In fact, I got a request probably, and I'll
No.
probably put this out on Facebook. Is next week is National Dispatcher Week, and our dispatchers are pretty isolated because we only have a certain number of dispatchers. But it's National Dispatcher Week, so if anybody wants to draw a picture, their kids draw a picture for National Dispatcher Week and mail it to the sheriff's department here in Barron, we can put them on the wall and put some smiles on our dispatchers' faces. We have 11 dispatchers. We've really isolated our dispatch center. We used to let our patrol officers go in there and visit. We've really isolated those because of the CV-19, and we just don't want it to spread because we have a limited number of dispatchers. But it's National Dispatcher Week next week, and I thought about this last night in my sleep, and man, if you want to have your kids draw a picture for our dispatchers and mail it into our sheriff's department or post it online, we can show our dispatchers, and it'll be a cool thing to do. But I got a great team.
So obviously they can go to your Facebook page. You're going to probably put that up there with an address and where to do it, or
yeah, I'll probably put something on our Facebook page, the Barron County Sheriff's Department Facebook page, about Dispatcher Week next week. And if you want to mail them a picture, we did that with the Kloss case. A lot of people mailed us pictures, and we hung them on the wall here right above all the food that people donated. And it was just pretty neat to see these cops. They come in after working a 12-hour shift, and they're eating and they're tired, and they look up and they read this and they get a smile on their face, and you stand at the distance and watch this as the sheriff and leading that organization, and you see these cops that they're tired, they're frustrated, they're sad, whether it was the tornado or the Kloss case or whatever it is, and they see all these pictures and you see a smile on their face. That's what it's about. I mean, it's as simple as putting a smile on someone's face. We don't need to overthink this. We don't need to complicate it. We just got to put smiles on people's faces.
well, I think the putting smiles on people's faces that's where I think the social media part comes in, or like you said, just kind of going for a walk. But I think that is one of the struggles that people are having, where just not being able to do that in person. And there is just something unique about that, right? Just actually being next to someone. And I think a lot of people right now are kind of looking at it differently and going, man, I didn't realize, how nice it was just to be able to go outside or go to a store or something.
Right.
But you're right, like with Zoom, Facebook, and going for a walk, there's a lot of things that we can do. And there's a lot of unique things that people are coming up with to do. Has the sheriff's department there done anything uniquely?
Well, no, not really. I mean, not uniquely. We're doing the same thing everybody else is because we're in the same boat as them. But we've got to do what we can. We have to realize that there's a light at the end of this tunnel. It's there. I know it seems dim, but it's there. We're flattening the curve. We're keeping the number of our hospitals from being overrun. I mean, that's what this is about, flattening the curves for our hospitals. The people that need care get the care they need, and that's what it's about here, not just putting a lot of people in a space, giving everybody gets CV-19 and then our hospitals get overrun. That's what we're trying to do here. It's made to keep you safe, but it's also made to not make our people that need, because there's other people that have health issues, not just CV-19.
Yeah.
They have heart attacks and they need surgeries and they have other things wrong with them. We've got to get our cancer patients back inside to get their treatments, but right now it's too dangerous for them to get out because their immune systems are down. So we've got to do this for a lot of other people. It's not just about ourselves. It's about a lot of other people. It's about being a community. It's about, this is what it takes to make a community great. We've done it before. We'll do it. We'll do it again. Laura Savi, our public health specialist, who's been a rock star through all this, basically said that we've been through the worst in Barron County. This is not the worst. This is, this sucks kind of, but we're going to get through it.
Yeah, and that's the positive spin. We're going to get through it, right?
Right.
All right. What else do you want to talk about that we haven't touched on?
I just want to talk about some of the things that our public health says, and I took some notes because I listened to Laura Savi. It's shared on our Facebook page. But public health is awesome. They have plans on this. They're working with our local hospitals. We have 4 confirmed cases over the last week. Those 4 confirmed cases are all connected. And they remain home and they're recovering. They all have mild symptoms. One of our hospitals requested that when I talk to the media, like things like this, if you need to go to the hospital, you need to call ahead. No matter what it's for, unless you're calling an ambulance on 911, an ambulance will come. But if I'm like, man, I don't feel so good, but call ahead, they'll tell you exactly where to go, what to do, and when to come. And if they need to be seen right away, you can. They just want to know who's coming in, when they're coming in, what they're coming in for. You're going to get way ahead if you call ahead. So any hospital in Barron County and Washburn County, I know all of our hospitals are working together. Call ahead if you need to go to the hospital. That's all they're asking. They're still going to tell you can come, but just call ahead.
Okay.
You need to stay at home. You need to wash your hands. You need to just continue to wash your hands, and stay at home. These are recommendations. They're not orders. I know a lot of people, I've answered probably 5 emails about this traveling, and people can come up here and they want to set up their campers on these sites. And I can't keep people from their property. And I know that frustrates some people, and I know they should self-quarantine, but those are recommendations, not requirements.
Right.
And that's what we're hoping to do. And my phone's ringing. I'm trying to shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but keep supporting our businesses, our takeouts. These are the businesses that were here for us when we needed to support soccer and basketball and what the Boys and Girls Club and Embrace and whatever it is. Now these businesses need our help, so continue to take out, and food when you can. And I understand financially some people can't, but do what you can when you can. Our stores are doing good. Don't worry, they're not going to run out of anything. We're doing great. And so I just think there's, you can go for a drive, you can enjoy the fresh air. I know a lot of people put up comments about the grass being greener and turkey season, and I don't know if Chief Wilson even works, if he just hunts all the time or if he actually works. But and I know he's listening, so that's okay.
Yeah, I like Dave.
But he's always hunting or fishing or doing something.
Yeah, he's an outdoorsman.
He's a good guy.
All right, look,
and,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and I just want everybody to stay positive. This will end, and it's just something that we're going to talk about this summer when we're sitting around the campfires together again, and we'll be there, and it's just a different time right now, but it's teaching our kids a lot of lessons, and it's teaching ourselves a lot of lessons, and I think the world will come out a better place. I know Barron County will come out a better place than we were at, and we'll learn a lot of lessons from this, and it'll all be worth it. And I think there'll be a lot less negativity in the world after this, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, Washburn County is going to come out better than you, because Washburn County is better than Barron County.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a positive sense of that. No.
That's awesome. We have one more question here, actually. Very good question from Sarah. How are your deputies protecting themselves from traffic stops and interaction with the public? Well, I don't think protecting them from traffic stops, but during traffic stops.
Right. No, we still are stopping people for speeding and doing that. So we understand that. But we have gloves. We have masks. If we feel the officer wants to wear a mask, they can. But we're wearing gloves. We have all of our PPE equipment that we need. Obviously, there's a shortage out there in the world, and we're working on those shortages with the state and national government, working on getting supplies. Right now, we're okay. If this lasts, a lot longer, then we'll need more. But we're getting supplies in every day. People are getting back to normal. But again, there's a lot of good in this PPE that a lot of people said, man, we're short PPE. And then all of these companies said, well, we can stop making cars and make PPE. And Ford and Chevy and everybody has started making PPE equipment, and even Bauer Hockey. And my son's a big hockey player, and they quit making hockey helmets for a month, and they made face shields. They say, Bauer, I really want one. I just think they're cool to have to say, remember, look at this Bauer hockey shield that they made instead of making hockey helmets. I mean, that's where big business and the little guy have come together, and we made a community as one. And I think that's what's really cool about this.
Awesome. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. Absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody watching, and stay healthy, stay safe, and just stay home for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, stay on the sofa. How hard is that?
That's right. We can't screw this up.
Special thank you to my guest today, Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, and thank all of you for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 8:30 when 25th District Senator Janet Bewley will join me for a chat. So until then, stay safe, keep your social distance, stay on the sofa, and have a blessed day.